How we feeling, people? How we feeling? How we feeling here? Hottest show on the streets. We're talking your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Yes, again, from the home location. However, in this way, it is Love Day out there for everybody. So in honor of Love Day for everybody, I got a chance to be able to do this from the home location, bringing you the passionate, excited Alabama football fans that love your Crimson Tide football. Got a chance to do this from the home location in honor of Love Day. So guess what? Y'all get yourselves in the comment section. Get yourselves in the chat line. Go crazy. Let's have conversation. Let's have fun here, talking nothing but Alabama Crimson Tide football. I'm excited to have you guys in here on the night show, and hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit that subscribe button. Get in the comment section. Do your thing tonight, Alabama fans. The daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat go $100 right there. We appreciate that from all of you. Got a lot of things to discuss here. Quite a few topics here. Alabama expecting to go with Nick Sheridan as its offensive coordinator. Coach Sheridan, formerly from Indiana. He's now, and he joined, of course, Coach DeBoer at Washington as a tight ends coach, and now he's at the University of Alabama with Coach DeBoer, and it's expected that he will coach the offense, he will call the plays, he will also work with the quarterback, so that's to be expected right there. And then you have two guys in Freddie Roach and Robert Gillespie, both earned promotions. Talk about how big that is. Not only will they continue to coach their respective positions, but the university has thought so highly of both guys. Both have earned promotions. We'll get into that. And then last but not least here, the big news that happened earlier today, according to Georgia beat writers, Scott Cochran, special teams coach, has He's no longer a part of the program. He decided to resign his position to try out or to go to other ventures in life. And with that being said, does Alabama make the move? Will the Crimson Tide make the move to bring the booming voice back to Alabama? To bring the booming voice back to the Crimson Tide? It's going to be a very interesting discussion as we get further into it. But definitely want your thoughts here on the show, want your comments on the show, want your passion, want your energy right here on the show. And we start things off by getting into your comments here on Love Day. We got LaKeith Williams with Roll Tide Roll, baby. Appreciate LaKeith being a part of the show and writing in here. Then we got Lorenzo Anderson. Lorenzo Anderson, what's up, Roll Tide? What's up to you, Lorenzo? Happy Valentine's Day to you and to your family. We're bringing you the show right here from the home location in Tuscaloosa, talking Bama football. Dexter Wright with the Roll Tide. Appreciate Dexter always being a part of the show here. We got the Godfather, the SEC, my man Waylon, with Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Happy Valentine's to all of you, the Crimson Tide family, the Bama fan bases. We're right here giving you the news, notes, and information. We got James Crick with a Roll Tide. Roll Tide to you, James. Appreciate you dropping in here on the show. Sam with what up, Steve? How you feeling, Sam? How you feeling? I'm doing good. Doing good here, enjoying this Valentine's Day right here. You got two coaches that got promotions on the staff. You got Nick Sheridan, who's expected to be the offensive play caller for the Crimson Tide, according to multiple reports out there. He's got experience calling offenses during his time at Indiana. And of course, the big news from Georgia, Scott Cochran no longer on Kirby Smart's coaching staff. What does this mean? He's available. He's on the market right now. Does Alabama make the move to maybe bring him back to Tuscaloosa? That remains to be seen. Roll Tide, everyone. That's coming from Don Parker, my man DP. Appreciate Don Parker dropping in here. Let's see. Here we got the Godfather of the SEC with the promotions. Yes, the promotions of the coaches. Robert Gillespie, Freddie Roach here on staff. Run the Table Sports Talk TV goes, no, Steve. So I don't think Run the Table Sports Talk is in on the whole do you bring Scott Cochran back thing. So don't think he's in the whole thing of bringing Scott Cochran back, which I can understand that. I can understand that. Sam writes in, Steve, who do you think will be the next O-line coach? And do you think Will Friend will be under consideration for the job? I think Will Friend will be under consideration for the O-line coach job. Two other names. I would look at Brandon Jones over there at Missouri. That'd be a name I would definitely look at, possibly having an interview there if you can get him for an interview there. But of course, I know Matt Luke, who's now at Clemson, and he's one of the biggest offensive line coaches out there. So Matt Luke, Brandon Jones are two guys that I would give a call to, along with Will Friend out there as well for that offensive line coach position. That's a spot that, Coach DeBoer, you got to get that position finalized, just due to when you're running an offense based on timing, based on accuracy, based on precision, based on balance. Everything starts with the big men up front. Everything starts with the offensive line. And in order to have a great offensive line, you got to have a quality offensive line coach. And the Crimson Tide has lacked that for the last few years or so. You look at Doug Marrone, he didn't cut the mustard there. You look at Eric Wolford, he didn't cut the mustard either. The last O-line coaches that did their thing, you have to look at Jeff Stoutland. You got to look at Joe Pendry. You got to look at Mario Cristobal. Got to look at Kyle Flood. These were names as offensive line coaches that exceeded, went beyond the call of duty for Alabama football. So Will Friend, Sam, big name on that list to consider, but also Brandon Jones of Missouri and possibly Matt Luke, who is at Clemson. Timothy Pass writes in, no, we won't. He should have never left Alabama if he was. Going back to the whole conversation about Scott Cochran. Some Bama fans are like, yeah, bring Coach Cochran back. Yeah, have him back in here. But then you have those that feel like, no, we don't need him. He should have never left in the first place. Don't need Scott Cochran back into the program. So it's a mixed bag of emotions. Very much so a mixed bag here, but he is no longer the special teams coach at Georgia. We got here James Knox writes in, roll tide till I die. In my own words, TDA family shouting out me, Eli, Big John Ivory, Justin, Ben, and the rest of the TDA crew here. We appreciate the love coming from you, James Knox. We're doing this from the home location, so I am one-man banding it right now in honor of Love Day, though. So in honor of Love Day, I'm doing the whole one-man band thing, but enjoying it here at this juncture. Don Parker writes back in, bring back Coach Cochran. He should have been called this afternoon. So Don Parker is in the camp of bringing back Scott Cochran. He's in the camp of bring Cochran back in here. We need that energy, need that booming voice, need that motivation. Bring Cochran back in the building. And you even have a lot of former Alabama players that feel the same way as Don Parker. But once again, this is kind of a touchy subject. This is kind of a mixed bag, if you will. Some say we want Cochran back. We want that old thing back. Bring him back in here. You have others that go, no, absolutely not. We're okay with him not being in here. So a whole mixed bag of feelings when you look at Scott Cochran. Here we go. We got Sarita Vlaga writing in, would like to know why Cochran resigned. That's a good question. Now, the Georgia beat writers, they're saying he resigned because he wants to do something new, new business venture, new things, time for a change. That's why he chose to resign. I've been doing some digging here throughout the day, trying to figure out, is there anything new, anything more, anything deeper to this? But at this juncture, I have not heard back from anybody at this point. But the more digging that I do, I am bound to hear back from one of my trusted guys here that's close to the situation, or a few of my trusted guys here close to the situation. So, but that's the report coming from the Georgia beat writers, is wanting to try something new, something different. And that's in terms of Scott Cochran. JDog67 writes in, I am excited about the new coaching staff And I'm excited about the new coach and staff. I think the change will be good. I'm excited about what Kalen DeBoer has brought in here. My main thing is going to be when we get a chance to look at some spring practices, how will spring practice look for Alabama football? When we get a chance to look at spring ball, when we get a chance to look at the transfer portal reopening back up 2 days after the A-Day game, how does DeBoer attack that? How does summer workouts look? How does fall camp look? How do these aspects look, right? Because I go back to Alabama sportscaster Chris Stewart, who had an interview with the Next Round show. He talked about everybody panicking. There's nothing to panic about. There's nothing to be nervous about. There's nothing to be scared of or afraid of at this point. You don't panic until something that has a cause for panic presents itself. If nothing presents itself to have a cause for panic, there is nothing to panic about. But appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts in here on the show, getting your comments in, continue to get those in as we look to get to all of them here on a Wednesday. But we're getting it right now. First topic of conversation on the show, and that goes to, as I mentioned, Nick Sheridan is expected to be the offensive coordinator, offensive play caller, and quarterback coach for the Crimson Tide. This comes from multiple reports out there that Nick Sheridan will be the guy. It does appear like it will be a co-OC deal with him and Jamarcus Shepard. Jamarcus Shepard will continue to coach wide receivers, but it will be Coach Sheridan that will work with the quarterbacks and call the offensive plays. He has experience calling offense, people, which goes back to his days at Indiana. After Coach DeBoer left, Nick Sheridan ran the offense, and Coach Sheridan did a huge job. The year prior to him running the offense, Indiana was way down in college football in terms of total offensive production. They came up 40-plus spots during his time calling plays. So increased offensive flow, increased offensive production, huge improvement. Nick Sheridan was able to do that. And then Sheridan was the catalyst to help mold Michael Penix Jr. at Indiana before he transferred to Washington. And of course, the two hooked back up together again where the Huskies were concerned. So here is Coach Sheridan. He knows offense. He's coordinated it before, but a part of it before, played a huge role in starting the development of a Heisman Trophy frontrunner, Heisman Trophy finalist, and Michael Penix Jr. at Indiana before he made the transfer to Washington. So Coach Sheridan knows what he's doing. Real deal there. And then once again, you got Coach Shepard there with you and that co-OC role going back to his time at Purdue, 2018 to 2021. He was the co-offensive coordinator and passing game coordinator. So even Coach Shepard, he knows offense. He's been around it. He's worked with it. So that's what we have here, a co-OC ordeal with Nick Sheridan and Jamarcus Shepard. Nick Sheridan as the primary OC in terms of the offensive play calling, scheming, strategizing, putting things together, working with quarterbacks, that whole ordeal. And then also keep in mind, Kalen DeBoer is an offensive mind himself, people. He's an offensive mind himself. So he will have a say in what's going on here offensively. Much like during Coach Saban's era as the Alabama head football coach, he was the overarching defensive guru. Yes, he had coordinators, but he put over the defense. When you look at Kirby Smart, Jeremy Pruitt, names like, of course, Pete Golding, Kevin Steele. But even though he had coordinators in place, the overarching theme of the Alabama defense was Nick Saban. He was the main guru. So the same thing here when you look at Kalen DeBoer and changing of the guard. Yes, he will have an offensive coordinator in Nick Sheridan calling the plays, running the scheme, running the system, that whole thing. But Kalen DeBoer, as an offensive mind himself, he will play a huge role in this. But that's going to be the main thing right there. Nick Sheridan as the OC, as the play caller, and the quarterback's coach. So looking forward to seeing what he does upon the start of spring practice coming up here in the next few weeks, what he does when you look at the A-Day game, the spring game, I mean, what he does when you talk summer workouts, fall camp, and this upcoming 2024 season, and one in which, if you look at the ESPN way too early top 25 rankings, Alabama's number 9 in the way too early rankings. Now, yes, it's got some teams ahead of it in the Southeastern Conference. Georgia at 1, Texas at 4, I believe Missouri at 7, Ole Miss at 6. So 4 SEC teams ahead of Alabama in this way too early top 25 rankings for the 2024 season this upcoming fall. But Bama is at number 9. So something could be brewing there. Something could be cooking up there. I for one, tend to think about, this season kind of puts you back in the 2008, 2009 feeling where Bama has to prove itself again, where, everybody's kind of counting Bama out, doubting the Crimson Tide, wondering, does this team have what it takes to get back to the college football playoff and this time win it all? So this is a team with something to prove, but looking very much so forward to seeing what Coach Sheridan does as the OC and the quarterback coach. But people, we're going to take our first quick break on the show. Don't touch that dial. We're just getting you started here. When we get back, we'll get into your comments. We'll read your thoughts. We'll get into your conversations in the chat line. But for right now, check out our partners at Alumni Hall, Midtown Village in Tuscaloosa, what they got cooking up for us here at TDA. Check out Alumni Hall. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in-store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out. You know what time it is, people. You know what time it is as we're back in from the break. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Check out our guys, our partners at Alumni Hall. Get you that gear. They're located at Midtown Village in Tuscaloosa. But we get back into the comment section, into the chat line, taking your thoughts here on the show. And we're going to start this thing off with my man, Run the Table Sports Talk TV. He writes in, Steve, I just don't want in. I just don't want in that's not 100%. I just don't want in that's not 100% locked in on all things Bama. We don't need no half-steppers this season. That's all. If he's all in, I'm cool. But he has to be all in. Run the table. I mean, I agree with you. You want everybody to be locked in. You want everybody to be linked in on this Alabama team. This is an Alabama team and a program hungry for a championship. 3 years without a championship is too long. 2 years without one. 1 year without a championship is too long. So this is a hungry team, hungry program. Kalen DeBoer trying to get this group back to the college football playoff and finish the job. So every coach that's hired, every player that's brought in needs to be locked in. So if the move is to look at, Scott Cochran, if that's the move, if he comes, yes, he needs to be locked in. If he arrives in Tuscaloosa, absolutely, he needs to be locked in. So I agree with that. You can't have half-steppers. You can't have people going halfway. But right now, nothing's been set in stone. Nothing has been confirmed. It's just he's no longer at Georgia, so he is available. He is out there in the market. If Alabama wants to look in that direction, doesn't mean they will. Doesn't mean they have to. But if Kalen DeBoer and Greg Byrne choose to look in that direction, that'll be that right there. The godfather of the SEC, my man Waylon, Matt Luke would fit in very well. He would. If Alabama makes him the O-line coach, if Alabama goes after Matt Luke and says, hey, brother, come on back to the SEC. Come on back to the SEC, be the O-line coach for the University of Alabama. I think Matt Luke will be a fine fit in Tuscaloosa, a very fine fit, I may add, in Tuscaloosa. But once again, we'll see if he becomes the move. There's all the speculation. There's all the thoughts. Nothing confirmed. We got to see which guys become the move here for Alabama football. Timothy Pass writes in, trust me, I would love it, Steve, but I honestly don't think he would. Going back to Coach Cochran, I would like it too if he came back, but does he want to? That's a thought right there. Does Scott Cochran want to be back in the program? Does he want to make that return? I remember when he left after the 2019 season, there was some disagreement there between he and Coach Saban. You know, Scott Cochran wanted to be an on-field coach, and Nick Saban was like, it was kind of some uneasiness there when Cochran exited stage left for Georgia. Am I saying the uneasiness is still there? No, but it was there at that time. So the question would be, would Cochran want to come back? Let's see here. Mel Ridge 51 writes in, Cochran was a great addition to Bama while he was there. He motivated the guys. He did. Scott Cochran was a master motivator. I understand a lot of people, we look back at the injuries that happened to particular players under Cochran's watch, especially the ACL and the foot injuries and the soft tissue things. But in terms of being a master motivator, get your mind right, the yeah type, he did his job. He did his job. He had the sideline hype. He had the people hype. He had the players hype. He had the mental motivation game on lock, which he did, which he absolutely did. And that was one of the best qualities of Scott Cochran, right? He had you mentally ready to play a football game. And in the last few years, we look at Alabama and we wonder, were these guys mentally ready every single time to go out there and play a football game? Sometimes they were, sometimes they were not. The vast majority of time under Scott Cochran, they were mentally ready to play a football game. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting, y'all. The news came up today, him no longer at Georgia, him back here on the open market here. JDog627 writes in, I don't want Cochran back. The number of injuries has gone down dramatically since he left. So JDog brings up the point of what a lot of you as Bama Nation had an issue with when it came to Coach Cochran. You had a lot of those soft tissue injuries, a lot of those ACL, MCL, foot injuries, a lot of those different mishaps that were bothersome. They were absolute bothersome. So ever since, he made the transition to head elsewhere, the injuries have taken a dip. The injuries have gone down. Whether it was David Ballou and Dr. Matt Ray or just now David Ballou, the injuries have went down since Cochran left. Let's see here. Don Parker writes in, Coach Cochran would keep the motivation up in the locker room. That's what he does. He's a master motivator. That's who he is. That's what he does. If he decides to come back, if Alabama would have him back, that would be his role, right? As that master motivator, that would be his role. If Alabama were to have him back, that would kind of be his primary role, just due to you having a legit director of special team. You have a legit director of strength and conditioning You have a legit guy of sports performance in David Ballou here. Roundtable Sports TV. Man, I'm so proud of Freddie and Rob being assistant head coaches. That's big, big. It is. Both of those two got a promotion. And we'll talk about that in topic 2 of the conversation. It was huge by Kalen DeBoer to recognize the significance of Freddie Roach and Robert Gillespie, not just retaining them at their positions, but actually bumping them up to be assistant head coaches for what they do in recruiting, what they do for the current guys on the roster. And on top of that, this reflects back on DeBoer's words when he came in his introductory press conference back on January 13th, where he mentioned, my staff is going to be a splash of Washington. However, I'm going to keep current guys on this staff that know the South, that know the landscape in recruiting, that identify with the Southeastern Conference. Both Roach and Gillespie do that. So that was huge on DeBoer's part to keep both of them. Absolutely. We roll back in with Roundtable Sports TV. These young guns are going to be able to play in the offense this year. Love it. Play who is ready. Roll, Tide, roll. A lot of these young guys are going to have a shot. A lot of these young cats, offensively and defensively, they're going to have an opportunity to get out there on the field and show their stuff. And I've mentioned this before. Kalen DeBoer is not going to play the loyalty card with these guys. If you're the real deal, if you're the real cream, show him. Rise to the top and show him. That's the way you get on the field. If you are the real cream, if you are about that action, you show him by your performance in practice and on that field. So, absolutely. Appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts in. Continue to get your thoughts in here. Here we go. We got W Knight who writes in, let's be real. Nobody knew who Sheridan was until now. This will be a wait and see for me. And W Knight, nothing wrong with that. For real, nothing wrong with that. It's going to be a wait and see. Remember, Jim McElwain was a wait and see. Jim McElwain was a relative unknown when he came to Alabama in 2008. Nobody knew who McElwain was from a can of paint. And it was, can this guy really coach? Can this guy really develop? Can this guy run an offense? And it was a wait and see. But what happened with McElwain, he showed us. You know, 2-time BCS national champion, 2009, 2011. Helped crown Alabama's first ever Heisman Trophy winner in Mark Ingram. When Jim McElwain came in, it was first met with a lot of friction. But he proved himself. So here is Coach Sheridan. Some people are saying, hey, you got to show me. You're not the biggest name out there. You're not a Kiffin. You're not a Sarkisian. You're not one of these big hotshot names. You got to show us who you are calling this offense, running this offense. So Sheridan's going to have his chance to put up and show the people that, hey, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly here what I'm doing. We got here, Jeremy Sanders writes in, new era, new scheme, new energy. Let's get ready to rumble. New era, yes. New scheme, yes. New energy, it's time to see it. It's time to see it. And I'm pumped up about it. We had Keanu Coote on the Bama Standard yesterday, and that guy had me fired up. Alabama linebacker Keanu Coote. I mean, this dude right here had me fired up. He talked about it. That swarm defense under Coach Kane Womack is going to be the real deal. They're going to be getting after the quarterback. I hope it's more than just words. I hope it's real action this time, because we've been hearing words, talk. U.S. Bama Nation, you are about action. So hopefully this time around, it's not just words. There's some action behind this where this defense is concerned. Now, kudos to Kevin Steele. He did get the engine revved back to return to what we saw from Alabama with that 2016 defense, 2017 defense, 2011 defense. Like, he got the engine revved up to go back in that direction. But you got to get the full engine back there at that direction. Jeremy Matthews writes in, I like the hire. So he likes the hire of Coach Sheridan But we will see how this goes. We will see what this does here. Jeremy Matthews also writes in, bring back Joe Cox. I like Joe Cox. I really did. I mean, he did a great job with the tight ends. He really did a great job with the tight ends, man. And now he's at Ole Miss. Just don't feel right. Feels weird, but it is what it is. I see y'all in the chat now. Y'all like that that commercial there for Alumni Hall with them keychains, man. Gotta get them keychains. Gotta get them keychains, people. I mean, tell you, those some good looking keychains though, for real. But for real. So gotta get those keychains there at Alumni Hall. But appreciate all of y'all writing in, getting your thoughts on the show. Okay, we got our super chat. Let's do it. Ty Alexander dropping in that $4.99. If a donation right there, Ty says, my boy Steven said, forget the studio. He can make the money at home. Roll Tide fam. I'm not against the studio time. I'm just saying, out of the love day. Gotta do that sometimes from the house. Sometimes. We'll try to be back on Friday, though. Real talk. We'll try to be back on Friday. We'll do our best to be back on Friday. But appreciate Ty Alexander giving that thought, donating the money in here on the show. Also, my man Don Parker, DP in here. Don Parker, Coach Cochran, doesn't have to be the strength coach. Him and HaHa will work to be a great team. Him and HaHa would be a great motivational staff team. Him and HaHa have to be, they would be a great motivational staff team. So I would agree with that, Don Parker. I would. You would have him and HaHa Clinton Dix kind of in a motivational staff role there. Just kind of get the players hyped, get their mind right. Like I'd buy it. I'd buy it. Absolutely, I'd buy it. Ephraim Davis checks in here. Bama needs experience and depth. You got to have experience. Got to have depth. Got to have it all across the board here. And Alabama looking to, add a couple more guys in the portal once it opens here at a couple of days after the spring game. But I'm definitely keeping my eyes on spring practice once it opens up here in March to see what the players got going on, what the team has got going on. But like I said, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day to all of you out there. Shouts out to my wife. Happy Love Day to my wife, Mia. Happy Love Day to her. My daughter, Mariah, as well, as we're all enjoying this Valentine's Day at the house here. But as you guys are continuing to get your thoughts in on the show, we're going to actually transition here to topic number 2 of the conversation. Topic number 2 here. Let me get this off the screen here. Just one comment there. There we go. Thought I had it up. There we go. So topic 2 of the conversation here, and it goes back into the promotions of Robert Gillespie and Freddie Roach. And this was huge. And I mentioned this for the break. You got 2 guys here that were a part of the Nick Saban coaching staff, right? And Robert Gillespie and Freddie Roach. They both are big-time recruiters. They're marquee recruiters. When these guys go on the road and they're looking at these young athletes, they don't have to say much because these young athletes know exactly who they are. They know. That's Robert Gillespie and that's Freddie Roach. Every high school in the state of Alabama, regardless of classification, they know who those 2 guys are. Every high school in the southeastern region, southeastern area, they know who Roach and Gillespie are. They recruit the Southeast extremely well. And when you're able to keep both guys, and not just keep them, but make them assistant head coaches, bump up their pay grade, that's big also. Because that shows Alabama is still able to hire from within and trust the people inside the program. That shows that Alabama is still able to hire from within and know that the people that have always been there, they know what they're doing, they got your back, and they're upholding the program to that high standard. I mean, this is all. Not only is Freddie Roach going to be coaching the defensive line still, but he's the assistant head coach. So he's going to have his hands in more pots. And he deserves that. I mean, for Robert Gillespie, not only is he going to be the running backs coach, but he's going to have his hands in more pots. And he deserves that. You look at Coach Gillespie, first and foremost, what he did in 2021 with Brian Robinson, taking B-Rob, a Tuscaloosa native who waited his turn behind a litany of running backs for his opportunity. In 2021, B-Rob goes bananas. We're talking over 1,300 yards rushing, 1,343, 14 rushing touchdowns, becomes the NFL draft pick by the Washington Commanders. That was big. And then you go from B-Rob to, you look at what Gillespie did with Jahmyr Gibbs, 2022. You know, Gibbs had a huge year. He only needed one season, but he had a dominant year. And now you look at, you got Jace McClellan pursuing the NFL draft. You got the sky is the limit for guys like Justice Haynes and Jam Miller and Richard Young. And now you bring in Kevin Riley, Daniel Hill as freshman guys. Like Robert Gillespie's done tremendous work. And when you talk about Freddie Roach, what he did this past season with Justin Eboigbe missed the majority of 2022 with the neck/spinal issue. And he comes back this past season for his fifth year. What does he do? 11 and a half tackles for loss, 7 sacks. He goes to the Senior Bowl, does well. He's been invited to participate in the NFL Combine. Looking forward to watch that. We saw what Freddie Roach was able to do in helping out Dallas Turner, who's going to be a first-round pick. You can book that and cash money with that one right there. And then you got Chris Braswell, who's going to be, day 2 draft pick between second and third round. Then you got guys like Jaheim Otis, Tim Keenan, Tim Smith, Damon Payne, James Smith, who are going to be the monsters for this upcoming season. So Freddie Roach has done well. So to have both of these two not just maintaining their positions, but to be promoted to assistant head coaches, happy for both of them, proud of both of them. They both deserve it. The job they do all across the board for Alabama football, kudos to them. And now it's going to be extremely exciting to see with the promotion, with the pay raise, how will these two perform in this upcoming season, starting off spring practice as assistant head coaches in trying to get this program back to winning a national championship in the upcoming season. So happy for Freddie. Happy for Robert Gillespie. Proud of both of them. We're going to now jump back into the chat line here to get your thoughts here on the show, your calls, your questions here, your thoughts here in the chat line. We're going to pick this up here with Perry Brockman. Perry Brockman writes in, Coach G and Roach definitely deserved the promotions. Let's roll. They both did. They both did. Happy for Coach Gillespie, proud of Freddie Roach. They both did. And I think they both are going to cash in on this opportunity by being even more aggressive in what they do this upcoming season. Coach Roach being more aggressive and not just developing defensive linemen, but sending these guys after the quarterback in the fall. And, of course, Robert Gillespie, having his guys at that running back position, be, 1,000-yard guys, 1,000-yard rushers. Let's see here. GT18 writes in, I miss Cochran and those fours being held up. He was the epitome of the fourth quarter program, and those players bought into it. GT brings up a very, very, very good point there, y'all. I mean, when Scott Cochran was at Alabama, there was, in the fourth quarter, there would be a picture of Scott Cochran on the screen inside Brian Denny. He's going, it's the fourth quarter. It's Bama time. It's winning time. Get on. Yeah, he would do that whole thing right there. And everybody bought into it. Like, everybody bought into it. From the players to the fans to the coaches to everybody was hook, line, sinker, bought into it. So, like I said, he was a master motivator. If he chooses to come back, and if Alabama would allow him to come back, I would love to have Cochran back in here. But once again, it's will he choose it? Will he choose? Because he was truly the epitome of the fourth quarter program. Let's hear Don Parker. Steven, on O-line coach, I would really consider going after Jeff Stoutland. Now, Jeff Stoutland, Don, I believe he's still with the Philadelphia Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. If he's not with the Eagles, then I will do some checking into that. But I think he's still with the Philadelphia Eagles. But Jeff Stoutland was a legend. He was a great one. He helped put those massive offensive lines together in terms of discussing Barrett Jones, Chance Warmack, DJ Fluker, James Carpenter. He had Cyrus Quanjo. He had those big men rolling to Jeff Stoutland. So going to have to see if he is still in the NFL with the Eagles. I think he is. GT18 writes in, Freddie was a great linebacker, y'all. He and DeMeco Ryans held it down. Kynes used to turn them loose. Freddie and DeMeco did hold it down in the early 2000s, absolutely. And Joe Kynes turned both of them jokers loose. And we're seeing what DeMeco is doing in the NFL with the Houston Texans. Proud of him. Should have got Coach of the Year. I think he got robbed of that. Should have gotten Coach of the Year. But proud of DeMeco. And then with Freddie here at the University of Alabama, just continuing the growth of him developing these defensive linemen and turning these guys loose on the quarterback. That's my main thing. That's my main thing right there. Continuing here with your thoughts on the show. Appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts in here. We got Ephraim Davis who writes in, we all can't wait for the season to start. Absolutely. The excitement for the season, the excitement for the A-Day game, the excitement for spring practice, the excitement is for let's get this ball kicked off. Let's get this ball kicked off. Let's get into some Bama football. Let's get into Bama football. Let's get this thing kicked off here. Absolutely. We continue here with Steve's comment, not with Steve, with Sam's comment. Steve, I am not worried about Alabama's offense. It's Bama's defense that concerns me because the 2023 defense gave up 20-plus points a game since Texas A&M, excluding Chattanooga. It did get tougher down the stretch for the Bama defense last season. It did. I think the biggest concern for me where the Bama defense goes is the Alabama defensive secondary. That's the biggest concern to me. And it's not because these guys can't do it. It's just because, Sam, you got a young secondary, young group. Right? The only one with marquee Bama experience back is Malachi Moore. Devontae Smith has some experience, but Malachi Moore is the only one back with marquee starting, playing big game experience. Now, you do bring over Damani Jackson from the transfer portal from Southern Cal, but even with him, he hasn't played all that much, and kind of the jury is still out on how good can he really be, right? So, you got a lot of young guys here in the secondary, which means that defensive pass rush, that front seven, it's got to be on point. That front 6 to 7, they got to come with it. They got to come with it. So that's Kane Womack, that's Freddie Roach. They've got to disguise a scheme to get guys free on the edge, get guys free in the middle, get guys free to attack the quarterback, and not allow that guy time to throw the football when you're talking about dealing with a young secondary. That's my only concern. It's just the youth there of the secondary. B. Jammin writes in, I think we will witness Milroe really improve and show out with good snaps and pass protection, Roll Tide. B. Jammin, it was big for Alabama to get the center from Washington, Parker Browsford. Getting Parker Browsford in here, that'll fix the snaps. I think the offensive line, Bama's got back. Big Jaden Roberts back. Tyler Booker back. Elijah Pritchett back. You got Miles McVay. You got Wilkin Formby, Rock Montgomery. You got just Ongasenganine. You got dudes on the offensive line. So the pass protection should be more than solid. More than solid. Now, as a matter of fact, you get the right offensive line coach in here, this group should win the Joe Moore Award. You get the right O-line coach in here, this group should win the Joe Moore Award, period. So I think Milroe should take a big jump here with protection from this offensive line. Run the Table Sports TV right back in. Plus, we don't know if Kalen DeBoer even gels with Cochran. That's a Nick Saban guy, not a Coach KD guy. That's another good point there on the table. That's another good point there. Scott Cochran was a Saban guy. Followed Saban everywhere. Coach KD doesn't know Scott Cochran. So that would be another reason as to why not to have him in Alabama, because you don't want to mess with the chemistry that you're trying to build here with a whole new staff, with new guys in here. So that's a good point. That's a good point there. That's a good point there. Absolutely. Appreciate all of you guys writing in, getting your thoughts in on the show, on the platform. Man, happy to see you guys in here. Happy to see you guys in here. Roll Tide and rise up. Run the Table Sports Tide. Kareem Hood 40 right in here. He's a good hype man, but those injuries under him, going back to Scott Cochran, great hype man, but he did have injuries on his watch while he was in Tuscaloosa. Several of those soft tissue injuries, several of those knee and foot and ankle and all of those things hindering a lot of those players from having the success that they want to have. So there you go. But this is a good conversation, people. Keep it coming. Do you think Scott Cochran should be brought back to Alabama? Do you not think he should be brought back? This is a healthy conversation that needs to be had. So why not have it right here on the hottest show on the streets, bringing you your Bama football news. In my own words, I appreciate all of you guys getting in, writing in, having your conversations right here. Before we get into the final topic of conversation and to get into more of your comments, we're going to take another quick break right here on the show. We will be back in just a moment. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh, yeah, gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out. All right. Back into the action here, folks. We're back in here getting your final thoughts in before we get into the last topic of conversation and wrap this up on the show. We look at David L. writes in. He might not, but would love to have him back. Big energy. This is in terms of Scott Cochran. David L. saying he might not come back, but he would love to have him back. The guy's got big energy. Absolutely. He's got big energy. Don Parker comes in with Coach Cochran needs to be on the staff in some capacity. This guy's a difference maker. It's like that drill sergeant you love to hate, but you know he's making you the best you can be. There is my man, Don Parker, giving his thoughts here on the show. Here we go. Sam writing in here. Got to get this. Got to get you one of these right here. Alumni Hall in Midtown Village. Next time in T-Town, I'm getting me a TDA shirt. Sam, appreciate that, man. Our guy John Ivory did a great job of filming that commercial, of getting that commercial done. And for me, y'all know how I am. I just like having fun with stuff. So a lot of the ad-libbing that I was doing there within that commercial, That was just me having a whole bunch of fun there. GT18 writes in, why would he not? He was a part of a lot of success at Bama. If he and KD can work something out, I say all systems go. This is a healthy conversation. If Cochran and Coach KD could work something out, if it's a thing that he wants to be in Alabama, Coach KD wouldn't mind him being in Alabama. I mean, that'd be cool. That'd be real cool. That'd be real cool. But we will see how this all shakes out. But we now transition to, folks, the final topic of conversation to wrap this up. And the final topic is actually, since we've talked about this for quite the amount of time here, we look at, should Alabama bring Scott Cochran back for Tuscaloosa? I'm kind of torn on this. I'm really torn on this. And I'm torn because as cool as it would be to bring him back, as cool as it would be to have him back in the program, I'm also in the camp of let's fully embrace the new, right? I'm also in that camp. As fun as it would be to have Scott Cochran back in here, as great as it would be to have Scott Cochran back in here, let's fully embrace the new, right? You got a general manager now in Courtney Morgan. He's kind of a hype guy. You got Clinton Dixon here, who's doing a great job at the program. You got all of these coaches coming in to help with the defense and help with the recruiting. They're really good guys. You have a nucleus of coaches in here that KD, Coach DeBoer, he knows, he's worked with, he's been around. So embracing all the newness of it, right? You want to keep some parts of the Saban remnant, but you don't want to keep everything of the Saban remnant. You feel what I'm saying there? This is why you hang on to Robert Gillespie. You hang on to Freddie Roach. You hang on to David Ballou. Those were guys of the Saban remnant. You hang on to those guys. You hang on to Jeff Allen. Though that was the Saban remnant. You hang on to Coach Cedric Burns. That's the Saban remnant right there. You don't necessarily have to go and get Scott Cochran, especially not if you don't want to. Now, if there's a desire there from Coach KD, then that's different, right? Because there's a desire there. There's a want to there. I kind of feel like we can do this. But if there's no desire there, there's no want to there, then you don't have to make that move to get him. This is just interesting because, like I said, the news came today. He's no longer at Georgia, no longer part of the coaching staff, chose to resign. And I put the story out there for TDA, and it went nuts. Man, it went nuts. Like people posting, sharing everything. So Coach Cochran still means something to a lot of people because you put a story out there on him and everybody's reading it. Everybody's interacting with it. Everybody wants to know what's he going to do, what's going to be his next move and things of that nature. But hey, it is what it is there. But appreciate all of you guys getting your thoughts, getting your concerns in on, should he be brought back? Should he not be brought back? Should he serve in some type of capacity? When you look at one, Scott Cochran, of whom did help during his time as the director of strength and conditioning. He did help Alabama to 5 national championships, 2009, 2011, 2012, 2015, and 2017. But as always, folks, you want the best news, notes, information, and coverage material on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll try my best here, people. To be back in studio on Friday in the Birmingham area, giving you your Bama football coverage and for you to call in to share your thoughts on the show. But till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. You get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy the Valentine's Day evening. Till next time, folks, I'm your man Stephen Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.